Hey guys, Jens and Tony here from Function Junction. Thanks so much for joining us. Tone,
Hey guys.
so Brew, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the 8 reasons why nutrition is so important. You know, this thing that we talk to our clients about all the time, the biggest frustration. So what we're gonna do is Tony and I are just gonna have like, obviously we're gonna present to you and try and make sense to you about nutrition and try and simplify it. But in the greater scheme of things, we want it to come across really chilled. Okay, we don't just want to sit here and preach to you. We want you to get a decent understanding so that you can have, after this, you can feel really confident to implement some changes into your life. Because we've got 8 reasons today to explain to you why nutrition is so important. And to be honest, we can make another 100 little pointers here if we wanted to. But
There's a lot, massive amount of confusion out there with nutrition.
yeah, exactly. Like the worst thing is like for us as coaches, hey, bro, is like when we will, invest time into discussing nutrition with our clients.
Yeah, meal plans, trying to get them to buy into just simplifying things really, and a lot of it comes down to laziness. A lot of it is
Yeah.
laziness, and I have got to do the kids' food. I've got to do this. I haven't got time for that. And it's like, well, you've got time to train. You've got an hour to spare on a Sunday. You've got an hour to spare on a Wednesday. You've got time to do your food prep. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, and the whole thing for today is, you know, after today, you will feel that it's worth investing the time into it. Okay, you've only got one body. You want to really look after it. You really want to invest into it. So a lot of the time people get distracted by media and magazines and all kinds of crap.
Government.
Yeah, World Health Organization, all these things it just distracts you from what you're trying to do. So, like recently, over the last year, they've spoken about how good red meat is for you. Prior to that, everyone was saying how bad it is for you, and it's all this confusion that just culminates into this massive level of um, just confusion as to what you're going to do, how you're going to eat, and how you're meant to eat. So we ask that you take everything in today, you absorb the information, and you try and apply it into your life and your lifestyle. Alright, so we're going to go through a little list, okay? So we don't want to be bullet pointing everything here. No one likes bullet points. But first things first is we're going to discuss the 8 reasons why nutrition is so important. So let's have a run through, bro.
Yeah, the first one is energy and happiness. The second one is energy and performance. You've got energy and confidence, then image, which is a massive one because when we get to that, we'll point out a few things which affects a lot of people. It's sleeping patterns, digestion, hormone regulation, and ability to manage stress. The first one to start with is energy and happiness. Energy and happiness, what can you gauge from that? Well, if you eat properly, you eat correctly, you will have a lot more energy. It's pretty self-explanatory. Don't want to sound patronising, but it's pretty true. Have energy, what comes next is happiness. It's playing around with the kids, it's finding time for yourself, finding time for your family, and basically eating correctly, waking up in a better mood than you are usually. Don't want to wake up sluggish, so you don't have that midday slump. You just want to simplify things that when you eat, you are eating to be energized. And when you have that energy, your mood swings are a lot better, your mood levels are higher, and then what do you get from that? You get happiness. So yeah, let's go from there.
Yeah, I think the big thing with happiness as well is like if you think about that, like everyone's got their friend who trains hard, who eats really well, and she's full of life. Like everyone's got their friend. All right, why is she like that? It's not just because she's born like that. It's because she has a lifestyle that serves who she wants to be.
And it is a lifestyle. It's a
You know what I mean?
massive
Like
lifestyle.
like no one wants to be hanging around with a grumpy person who's eating croissants all morning, who's got a headache, who doesn't want to talk to you. Like you don't want to be around that person. So why be that person? If you had to imagine all those people in a room, how boring would that room be? How grumpy would that room be? Like there's no need for that. You've got to think like how can you feel yourself to make sure that you feel great, that you don't have headaches, you have energy, so that when you're at work, you're at the best level you can be. Now, everyone knows that even if you have a shit job that you hate, but if you have a good day at work where you apply yourself well, that makes you happy. Cool. So there's a little bit less stress. And then when you get home, rather than being tired and grumpy because you haven't eaten all day, you get home and now the time that's actually precious to spend with your loved ones or your family or your friends or your kids. Now all of a sudden you've got the energy to actually want to spend time with them and fully engage with them.
Yeah.
And that's a big one.
It's a massive
Like your kids don't see you all day and then you get home. And the first thing you want to do is go, oh, I have to go and cook for everyone now. Or whatever, like you're all super miserable. Whereas, you should be like, oh, word, I've got so much energy now to play or to, socialize or just be with your friends. Like you can't be that friend that goes out with your mates and then you're so tired, you're sitting there not even fully engaged in the conversation, or even worse, so fucking tired that you're just sitting on your phone looking at Instagram. Like, don't be that person. All right, so energy and happiness, it goes hand in hand, and then we scroll over to energy and performance. All right, now energy and performance is one that we talk about a lot. Like
Massively.
at FJ, we've been influenced a lot by something called Eat to Perform. So they've got a really good kind of authority, but the saying goes, well, you want to eat to perform. You don't want to eat to starve yourself to lose weight. You don't want to eat to starve or to get fat. Obviously, you don't want to do that, but you want to think like, how is food going to make you perform better in every aspect of life?
Train your skin. There's a thing a lot of you may not know about. There's a thing called macros. So it's your carbohydrates, your fats, and your proteins. It's about balancing all those out. And again, finding what works for you. Finding what works for you for the energy system that you need to train for as well. So that it's playing around with those systems and then having that system in place to train and perform better. And that's what we're going to try and just go through a little bit of that at the moment and try and suss out what's going to work and give you some ideas, and then you play around with it your end and find out what's best for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tone, like one thing we always talk about with our clients is obviously when you're in the gym and you're trying to see changes in your body. Like if you look in the mirror every day, you will not see changes, okay? Because you're looking too closely. Like if you look at anything too closely, you'll see cracks. That is just a fact of life. But if you're in the gym and your mindset is, how can I perform better? How can I get that little win? So if you think, okay, I want to pull a deadlift PB, you're not going to get there by eating crap. You will not. You'll get to a certain level and you will not get past that.
I mean, how many times have we been with clients and said, when was the last time you ate? About 5 hours ago? So you haven't eaten for 5 hours, you're going to come to the gym and try and train. So you're virtually training on empty.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so you got to think like you got to think about the little gains that you have to do to make yourself 1% better each day. So if you think performance, right, and you want to improve your performance in the gym. So let's say this week you improve your performance with your press ups. So you, instead of doing 3, you can now do 6. Okay, and your deadlift's gone up by 5 kilos, and you finally got 1 pull up, and you can do 10 burpees under 20 seconds. All of a sudden, you're focusing on performance, and the only way your performance will increase is with good fuel and energy. Now, all of a sudden, you start to gain this confidence about yourself because you know physically you can see things are changing and you're getting better. Now, all of a sudden, life starts feeling a lot better. So rather than you looking at a fucking scale to see if you've lost weight, now you can go, well, I'm getting better, I'm a better athlete, I'm moving better. That's what you focus on, and that's how you change everything. So you got to remember that fueling yourself properly in order to perform better in the gym is huge, but not just in the gym, like at life as well. Like you're a human being, and you have no right to be a mediocre human being. Like, why would you want to be a mediocre version of yourself? You know, you're not that person. Why do you want to be a mediocre version of yourself? Why do you want to be like half-ass?
Accept him for second when you shouldn't be.
Yeah, why? Like number 2 is an abbreviation for loser. Like why do you want to allow yourself to feel that that is okay. Like that is not okay. So what you got to think is, how am I going to eat better in the morning to perform really well at work today? To be that person who's hitting targets, who's actually making a difference. That's what life's about. Not going to work and going, oh my word, I hated work today. Everyone was doing so well and I just sat there. Like no, you have no right to be a mediocre human being. So your mindset on energy for performance is huge. So how are you going to perform better at life, at training, at everything? You're going to eat well. All right. So again, we're just brushing over the important reasons why nutrition is so important.
And when you get when you get this one right, it goes on to the next slide, which makes
is huge.
A massive difference.
So the next slide, Tone. I mean,
energy and confidence. It's the same thing. It's going back to that thing of performing better in the gym, performing better at work. Once you get these energy levels up, you become a lot more confident. You're getting PBs, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, you're getting quicker, you're getting a lot fitter. People are noticing things. People are seeing things different about you, how much confident you're getting. And when you get that confidence, maybe you realise this job isn't for me. Maybe I want to get out of that comfort zone. That's a big thing, getting out of the comfort zone. Same with your training. Because with this new confidence, becomes a better you. Again, you've gone from second place to first place every single time. You've gone stronger in the gym, which makes a big difference in your social and private life. Why not? Maybe that guy that you're dating isn't the dream guy you wanted. Maybe now with that confidence, you want someone better. All these things add up and make a big difference, and it's how you change it and how you change your life and become a better person.
Yeah, it's huge. Like one of the second, I think it's the second or third biggest industry in the world is the dating industry. You know, and like there's so many people that are either not in relationships at all or in relationships they don't want to be in, and a lot of it comes down to confidence. Like, I mean, we train hundreds of women, and there's a lot of like the 30 to late 30 kind of mark where the mindset is like, you know, you will never get anything better, and like that's bullshit. Like that's just you thinking that you're not good enough, you know, and that's a load of bullshit. There's nothing sexier in a woman or in a man than someone who's confident, not arrogant, confident.
There's a big difference. Yeah.
There's nothing sexier. You know that. Like, think about that person that you met who just had this beam of confidence. Like that is something you can get from training, right? And that's proven. Like, the amount of lives we've changed at FJ, where our girls have gone through, you know, often it takes a solid year of training, you know, minimum, where you actually find out that all of a sudden you've got more confidence, you've got a better strength of character.
It can be a light bulb moment.
And then all of a sudden you go, you know what, I can go for that dream job. Well, I can get rid of this guy that just drains my life, you know? And all these kind of things starts changing, all because you're more confident, okay? And the only way you're going to get more confident is if you eat right. So if you think about everything we spoke about now, try and relate it to your life and think, well, yes, it's worth the fucking hassle to apply myself with my nutrition, to make myself a better person, to not be a mediocre human being, to have more energy so that I can be better at work, more happy, have a lot more confidence, and to perform better. Oh shit, now my life has gone from running at 30% to running at fucking 80, 90%. All of a sudden, now you're a class A fucking human being, rather than just fucking going through life and wishing you can't wait for the weekend. Like, what kind of life is that if you only work, you only live for the weekend? That is sad.
It's your whole persona as well. It's your private life, everything. You've gone from being that person who wants to make love in the dark to wants to make love in the daylight.
Yeah.
It's a massive, massive thing.
Have sex with the lights on. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, moving on, especially on that line, bam, this is a huge one, image. Now, I guarantee you, the first thing you got to think about right now is in your place of work or the people you surround yourself by. A lot of perception is driven by your image and how you hold yourself. Okay, so now if you think of everything we've spoken about today, and then the last slide we spoke about energy and confidence. Now think about your image as well. Okay, so if you imagine you, say in corporate world, you walk into a meeting room and you walk in and their first impression of you is all that matters, right? You have to have the image that represents you, all right? And that image should represent a strong, ambitious, driven, confident person, all right? So nutrition, healthy, solid nutrition and training will get you there, all right? So you got to think like, is the juice worth the squeeze? Hell yeah. Is the juice worth the squeeze if I have the image that represents the person who I want to be, so that when I walk into a room I demand respect? Fuck yeah. So why on earth would you neglect your nutrition if you know that the image that you wish to represent could be there if you apply yourself?
Massive,
Pretty
massive,
simple.
yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, big time.
Like we've seen it time and time again.
Yep.
Hey? And
Big job changes. We train people in pretty high-powered jobs, but before that, they weren't that. They didn't have that confidence. They didn't have that image. They didn't feel sexy. They didn't feel like that woman that would be that guy that looks great in a suit. But 6 months, year into training, everything's changed. Everything's changed for them. You know, they're that guy that looks fantastic in a boss suit, wants to wear a boss suit. You know, the woman that wants to feel that empowerment of walking into a room and people know who she is and have that power. It's all down to, everyone knows about image. You know, you see it on TV, you see it in magazines. What you see is your first impression of someone.
yeah, and like I think a big thing is we're not talking false image. Like we don't want you to fucking slap on a bunch of makeup just to look good. Like what we're talking about is we're talking about a person that just beams of confidence and glows of healthiness and has an athletic posture. You know, immediately we see someone with the proper posture, not army posture, like athletic posture. All of a sudden, they just demand a different respect. Okay, and that all comes hand in hand. Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on swiftly, and we're going to talk about something that a lot of you think that waking up in the middle of the night is normal, and you know, waking up in the morning feeling absolutely rough, and you're feeling like you've been hit by a train.
Bus.
You know, that is not right. That means you're not in a good place. It means that you're under fueling. You know, if you're waking up in the middle of the night,
yeah, there's a big
85% of chances are that if you're waking up in the middle of the night, it's because you're underfueled throughout the day and your body's agitated.
Hungry.
It's agitated, it's hungry because it needs fuel to repair. Like when you go to sleep, that's repair time. That's like you parking your car in the garage and getting them to fix it overnight. Or you know, that's what's happening. So you need to think like, you know, how am I going to get my body to fully repair?
How have you put your phones on charge when you go to bed? It's the same thing. It's about recharging our batteries. That's where your sleep patterns come in. So the more sleep you get determines how stronger you're going to feel. So you got broken sleep patterns. You're not sleeping properly. You're waking up hungry. You're not refueled. Come 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, when it's time for waking up, you're going to feel battered.
And then you stress, because then you wake up and you're like, fuck, I didn't sleep at all.
For the rest of the day ahead of
How am I going to handle the whole day?
Shit.
Like that happens, and it all accumulates. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to deal with. But it goes back to, okay, so how should you have eaten the day before to give you a much more guaranteed chance of having a better night's kit? Oh shit, now all of a sudden nutrition is worth it. Alright, it's huge, it's massive. Alright, so moving on, we're going to go on to something that's might be touchy. The fact that this is a webinar, just at least we want to see you blushing right now. But how, you know, think about how many times you go to the toilet a day. Are you regular? Is it loose and bitty, or is it solid? Like, these things matter. So if you're constantly loose and bitty, it means that your body is not intaking any of the nutrients. So now whatever you're eating, your body doesn't like, and you don't know because you're not one with your body. You don't really listen to your body. So then whatever you're eating is not even being absorbed. So you probably feel tired all the time, and that's chronic fatigue is a horrible thing. So if you're not absorbing nutrients, you're putting yourself in a bad place.
Yeah.
So digestion is huge. Like we've recently, Tony and I have been working hard with a guy called Ryan Martin. He's a natural health coach. He's quite a boss, and he's been helping me with my gut health issues, and it's been so interesting. Like all the years of being a trainer and all the things I've studied and learned regarding nutrition and stuff, I never really came across how important your colon is and your whole kind of digestive tract and basically what he was saying was your colon is like your second brain. Your gut is like your second brain, and if you think like butterflies when you're nervous, like that's a real thing. So you have like the exact same amount of neurotransmitters in your brain as in your gut, which means that it goes hand in hand. Like if you think you've had a really stressed out week of work, your digestion's crap. You're either bloated, you got cramps, or you got the shits. Because and it all interlinks. So if you start thinking, okay, so if I handle my food correctly, how's it going to make me mentally? Because it works back and forth. It's not just, oh, I'm stressed and now I'm going to shit bad. It's more like, oh, I'm eating really well, so I'm handling stress better. And it all goes hand in hand. Like digestion is key. So you need to make sure that obviously you go regular. You need to make sure that it's proper solid, and that way already you know that whatever's going on inside is good. Like you should not feel bloated. Like bloated is your body's response of like inflammation. It's just like
swelling.
it's just not happy.
Swelling.
It's trying to fight. It's trying to calm down. All right. So then on top of that, you got to think, okay, so if I get my digestion right, I'm going to handle stress better. I'm going to be able to perform better at work, at life. You're going to be happier because if you suffer from IBS or Crohn's and things like that, like a lot of the time, believe it or not, that whatever they tell you, like if you apply your nutrition properly and eat food that you can only grow or kill, then you can eat that food. Like if it's processed in any way, that will fuck your body up, hands down. And if you're in a position where you do have chronic kind of illnesses like that, then it's something that you've done to yourself over years and years and years of damaging your gut, and you have to sort it out. But the crossover with life, with happiness, with performance, with energy, everything is completely blown out of the water. So
it's very rare the body has any intolerance to really vegetables and proteins.
Yeah.
Which is what we try and ask most of our clients to take on board.
Yeah.
But again, if you're starting having processed foods, you're having foods with MSG, high sugar levels, high salt levels, your body's going to react to that. Dairy, it's going to have a massive effect on you. So just try and keep it simple.
Exactly. So this is a big one, hormone regulation. All right, guys. So what I'm going to tell you right now is there is so much science around nutrition and hormones, okay? And obviously we don't want to bore you, number one, and we don't want to go over the top here. So first things first is the stress hormone cortisol, okay? Now, it is an effective hormone and it has its benefits, all right? But on the most part, in like Western society, where you're working a lot, you're generally quite stressed anyway, all right? Having cortisol levels raised, stress hormone, it will kind of force you to hold on to fat.
Yeah.
And that's something that you want to deal with as well. So we go back to the digestion thing and you go, okay, well, if my nutrition is locked on and on point, then my digestion will be good. And it'll also manage my hormones, all right? because it won't make you feel stressed if you're bloated or constipated or whatever. All right, and you're sleeping better. So if you're eating properly, then it will cross over to performing better, which will lead to less stress, which will lead to sleeping better, which will lead to waking up in the morning feeling energized, which all in all means that your hormones are in sync and running how they are meant to. Alright, hormones are an incredible chemical reaction in your body if they're doing what they're meant to do rather than trying to protect you all the time. Okay, don't let your body feel like it's fighting a war every day by you starving yourself, because your body doesn't need that. It's already under all these other stresses in life. So it's really important, and then that goes over to this one where we talk about ability to actually manage stress. Got a little typo there, but manage with a mango stress. Well, you know what we mean. Manage. So,
yep, same thing really. It's building that bulletproof body. So once that body's built, you're a lot stronger person. Your nutrition's on track. Everything's in place. You become a lot stronger person to manage that stress.
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking about here is physical
These are all
and mental.
Yeah.
It's not just mental stress. Yeah, like your body will only get stronger if it is exposed to stress.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you are unable to handle the stress that it's exposed to, you will crumble. So, you got to think like the characteristics you learn from training allows you to be a stronger person in life. Okay, it gives you a stronger sense of character.
Yep.
So if you relate that back to anything, like
everything's mindset.
Better.
Everything is mindset.
So if you're fueling properly to be able to perform better in the gym, to perform better when you're training hard, you're doing mental toughness sessions where you're having to graft, all of a sudden shit gets real and you can handle it. Then the same thing in life. Like, you need to be able to handle stress, and good stress compounds and you get stronger, and then more stress comes and you get better and you get through it and you get through it. And that's the characteristic you want to be an ultimate human being, not a piece of shit, weak, cry in the corner about everything in life. Alright. So, to end, Toe,
yep.
Brew, go and get at it now. For fuck's sake.
Yep, do it.
Alright, this is how it starts.
It's your life, guys. You get one crack at this life.
So, Greg Glassman said, the guy who started CrossFit, he said, eat nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch and no sugar. Yeah? So, essentially, just cut out wheat and gluten, hands down. You want to stick to things that you can grow. Joshy, one of our boys, Josh, he always talks about, if you can kill it, eat it. If you can grow it, cook it. And that's what you wanna eat.
Fucking right, pussy. He's alive.
Yeah, I mean, one of the coaches, Josh, he often talks about, he's got this philosophy that's been influenced to him a lot. So yeah, guys, so you just got to go out and get it. Like, you just got to attack life by the fucking throat. Like, take life by the horns.
Grab the horns.
And throw it over the fucking wall and say, you're going to be my bitch. Like, that's what it's about. So, whatever the confusion is, we're going to make it very simple for you. Alright? Obviously, if you work with us and work with our nutritionist, Rory, like, we'll be able to tailor this more and more and more. But essentially, this is your mindset. You've got to eat good meat, chicken, beef, lamb, whatever. You want to eat good meat. You want to have vegetables in every meal. Alright? You want to have proper good eggs. Alright? And if it's processed, don't eat it.
Yep.
If it's gone through any kind of factory, don't eat it. As long as whatever you're eating, you can grow in your beautiful farm. Not all of us have farms, but think about it. You can grow, or you can kill it. And if you can kill it, you can eat it. Alright? You can't kill pasta. Like, those things just slip away from you. You just can't catch them.
Can't get milk.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't kill milk. All right, stay away from dairy, stay away from sugar, stay away from wheat, stay away from gluten, and all of a sudden, you feel so much better. All right, so with everything we've spoken about, remember this: the juice is worth a squeeze. It will affect all these 8 things in your life. So is the effort worth it? Hell yes.
What is 28 days of just trying this out once?
Yeah, exactly.
28 days.
And then after those 28 days, it's not just 28 days. Then you realize you can go for another 28 days.
Lifestyle.
And then you realize, oh shit, this is my life. Because I actually don't want to go and smash a whole pizza because it's going to make me feel shit. Alright, so apply this. Be a better human. Don't be mediocre. And go get at it and get strong.
Go get it, guys.
Peace out.